Oh, an intro. Perfect. I'm serious, though. I want to use that one.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Jake.
And I'm Krug, and today we're here to talk to you about Pathfinder 2nd Edition to Errata 2.
Okay, so there's a lot of things in the Errata, but we only chose a couple of them. Is that correct?
The interesting things to talk about, there's definitely more in the Errata that you should be adding to your games that are a little bit more utilitarian, I don't know, a little bit less impactful maybe in some cases. Definitely take a look at them. These are interesting things to talk about, we think. This first fat chunk of changes is all about alchemists.
Okay.
And the very first thing is specifically for strength-based mutagenist alchemists. Level 1 trained, level 13 expert, level 19 master in medium armor. Yep. Just for you guys. I don't remember if you had that kind of problem because we did a mutagenist build. Were you thinking about that while you were building it?
My main thing with that build wasn't so much getting hit as it was more about doing damage and having things stack on top of each other, because there was also the fact that you could heal pretty well, the fact that you could get rid of a mutagen that's already in your body and heal for yourself, and then snap back and bring it back. But this definitely improves it. 113
and 19 are the same levels that you get your other armor advancements, so you're basically just adding medium to that list. The next one, Powerful Alchemy, is now a class feature instead of a feat, which is huge. You get it automatically at level 5, and for those of you that don't know, when you use Quick Alchemy to create an infused alchemical item that allows a saving throw, you change its DC to your class DC. It's so mandatory because your class DC is the thing that's like scaling your power. Instead of having to like make new higher level potions, you're instead just scaling the DC with your almost caster class as though you were any other caster. Makes those lower level items retain a little bit of relevance into the like middle to late part of your character's development, right?
Any buff that you can give the alchemist, I'll take. I mean,
see, but I don't. This isn't even a buff because all of the stuff that your current level like crafting is the same, right? You're just getting more versatility almost.
But the fact is that you're getting this feat as a class feature versus instead of having to make it a feat itself, which then turns around and frees up a feat slot for you to then turn around and take something. That's why I'm saying, to me, it's a buff because you're just gaining something that most of the alchemists were already taking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just.
No, I see where you're coming from. You're getting to use that power elsewhere instead of using this at level 5, which is good. That makes it feel a little bit more dynamic instead of having a mandatory choice, which.
And the thing about it is, like, the alchemist as itself, I like the theming behind it and the feel behind an alchemist, not necessarily its power level. I don't think that they're the most powerful things that exist out there, especially in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but I do find them the most interesting, and that's why I like them. The fact is that their 3 different tiers are so drastically different. Hey, I'm going to heal you. Hey, I'm going to blow you up, or hey, I'm going to turn into the Hulk.
Next thing we're going to talk about is low-level formulas. Paizo thinks that the current amount of formulas that an alchemist can make at lower levels is too small.
Yes.
And while at level 5, you get the ability to craft 3 items instead of 2 whenever you're crafting a potion that's in your research field. That is very late in the game, right? You're like 1 through 4, you're kind of SOL. So they're adding a way for you to get more items early in the game. They're calling it a limited version of the field discovery class feature that you get at first level. It specifically says your research adds a number of formulas to your formula book. These are your signature items. When using a batch of infused reagents to create your signature items, using advanced alchemy, you create 3 items instead of 2. So level 1 through 4, you're going to be able to do it with a limited number of these formulas. I think at level 1, you're going to be able to do it with 2 bombs that you get from your research.
For each reagent that you spend, you get 2 bombs. Unless you know what you're going to be coming across each day, right? You'd have to prep your things using your reagent. But then if you're in combat and you want to use your quick reagent, you're using 1 for 1 bomb. It made it so that having multiple combats in a day or having one extended combat made it so that your alchemist had to then use melee weapons, which is really not helpful. So next we're going to go into some general things instead of class specific. From what you remember going over the errata, was there a bunch of different class stuff, or was it just mostly in alchemy?
There was other stuff. It just wasn't, in my opinion, as discussable.
Sure,
right?
sure.
The wording has been adjusted to prevent unintended interactions for Raging Athlete, and like Sudden Leap is missing the 2 action icon. And I was like, okay, cool, dude. Like, not nice. I get that. It's important stuff, but I don't want to sit here and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm with you, which we just did anyways.
This next thing I think is also sort of a disambiguation, but I think it's going to affect a lot more people. In the curse trait, you're going to add effects with this trait can be removed only by effects that specifically target curses. This makes it clear that you can't use Dispel Magic to remove a curse. It's a nerf to Dispel Magic. It's a huge buff to curses, in my opinion. And then also in Feeble Mind, Celestial Brand, and Jealous Hex, they are applying a curse. They thought that those spells weren't worded accurately enough. So they added more curses and buffed curses.
Do you know if the PDFs, like if I go back and I download the PDF again, are these erratas being updated to it?
I don't know.
Powerful Alchemy. It's right there.
Yep. So they do update it.
Oh.
This is something that probably everybody knew besides us.
Yeah. Let's go into the next note that we wanted to talk about, though.
Where even were we?
They added olfactory traits for the bestiary in the glossary, and olfactory effects can affect only creatures that can smell it.
The only reason I put that in there, it's basically they're porting like a trait from one book to another.
Oh, hey, we added a thing to the book, like a new aspect to it, because we felt that we needed something that had to do with smelling. Like illusionary creature has olfactory as one of its traits.
That's very good. Like what they did was they took something from being intuitive, and where most people would have probably just gotten it right by thinking with their brains, like, oh, you have the ability to smell? Great. Well, then this smell doesn't cause you to retch because you can't smell it. There's some people that are like, well, it doesn't say that in the book, so I'm not going to make that a thing. Now it's kind of like making those people fall in line with reality.
No,
right? Which is totally okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them being slightly more specific, especially because there was a blinded, like has like an in-game mechanical definition. So why not, not having scent?
I like it almost as much as I like this next thing.
Oh man.
Which has to do with the worst aspect in the game.
Everybody brace. So I want you to open your book and go to page 629 through 633. And then I want you to, inside the definitions of chaotic, evil, good, and lawful, remove the last sentence, because now creatures can use abilities of an alignment without matching that alignment. It does not gate you to certain things outside of anathema, which is a separate thing, right? You can be an evil character and cast good spells. Anything that you do may be anathematic. It might change the creature's alignment over time, basically giving the GM final say and putting the effect of alignment more into the roleplay area and less into the mechanics area, which is exactly where it belongs.
Alignment is just one of those things that I feel are holdovers from previous editions that just don't make sense anymore, like at least with how people view the world. Over time, we have realized the world is less black and white and more gray. With current ways of how society views morality, it shouldn't be black and white in our game. That evil bad creature can still just be an evil bad creature and doesn't have to have evil alignment, takes no damage from evil. Like, it doesn't need that, It can still be a mechanic that exists, right? Where evil creatures take more damage from certain things. Instead of applying a label to the creature and then saying that this kind of spell does more damage to this kind of creature, in the creature's description, just say this creature takes more damage from spells with the whatever trait, or this creature has weakness whatever to whatever kinds of spells, right? Like if it's a demon, don't say that this creature is evil. Just say this creature takes more damage from holy magic, or anything with the that's cast by a holy caster, or anything that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways of going about it. And that would also work with elemental resistances. That's the exact way the elemental resistances are done. That having been said, the anathema system is great. Yes.
I think that the anathema system should have overtly replaced alignment as far as like what is the mechanical restriction mechanism at the very beginning of the game, because Anathema's chef's kiss. It's so much easier for the GM to homebrew Anathema. It's so much easier for the player to like justify what they're doing. And then at the end of the day, the Anathema is way better because deities, I don't know if you know this or not, but deities are intelligent in this game. They are smart because they're deities, most of them. One of them's a monster. I don't know about that, but like probably 99% of them are like way smarter than all of the mortal characters in the world. Therefore, they understand nuance and like can understand that something is for the greater good. So even if your deity is like, oh, it's anathema for you to raise undead, but then you're like, okay, if I don't raise this one undead creature, an entire species is going to be extinct. Yeah, I also don't like it when entire species die. So you can just go ahead and do that because that seems way less impactful as opposed to just evil good. No nuance there. You can't justify yourself to the concept of evil.
If you're a divine caster, one of the first things that you do is you take divine lance. Because the way alignment damage works in this game, because it takes on the alignment of whatever deity you worship, right? It only deals damage to the opposite type. So if your deity is good, it does not hurt good or neutral creatures. It only hurts evil creatures, which is the most frustrating thing because it's one of the only like real damaging cantrips that divine casters can take.
Yeah.
For me, this spell, how it works at my tables when I run is that it does the same amount of damage whether they're good, neutral, or evil, but if they're the opposite alignment, it does additional damage. They have a weakness 5 because I hate alignment. I don't know if I've said that enough. Either way, this is a good move towards the direction of getting that shit out of here.
Speaking of getting out of here.
Yeah, head down in the comments and do what Krug just said because I'm not as good as transitions as he is. While you're down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and you know what? Hit the bell if you really want to. I'm not going to tell you to hit the bell because I think it's a bad idea, but
you genuinely don't have to. We have a lot of content.
But if you want to get a hold of us, the best way to do that is on Discord, which the link is down in the description below. But if you want to reach us on other forms of social media, the only place that you can do that for me is on Twitter. You can reach me on Twitter at IndigoQT.
I forgot how this goes. It's been so long. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Or you can reach both of us.
Or you can reach